But on immigration, you better get your act together. Or you're not going to have Europe anymore. You got to get your act together. And we, as you know, last month we had nobody entering our country. Nobody. Shut it down. And we took out a lot of bad people that got there with Biden. Biden was a total stiff. And what he allowed to happen, but you're allowing it to happen to your countries. And you got to stop this horrible invasion that's happening to Europe, many countries in Europe. Some people, some leaders have not let it happen. And they're not getting the proper credit they should. I could name them to you right now, but I'm not going to embarrass the other ones. But stop. This immigration is killing Europe. And the other thing, stop the windmills, killing the beauty of your countries.
The comment that Trump made just before that about dismissing Macron was about arriving in Europe and telling very bluntly, saying the first world leader to do so and to do so bluntly and unequivocally. According to Donald Trump, Europe is being invaded and that invasion must stop. And what he's talking about is, of course, the masses and mass illegal and legal immigration, but particularly illegal. And you only have, we've shown it here many times on Outsiders, you only have to look the streets of Paris, the streets of Rome, the streets of Brussels, wherever you go, social cohesion has broken down, law and order is breaking down, and it is because of this mass influx of people from different cultures, from different parts of the world, and the failure to assimilate. It's very simple. Donald Trump has called it out, James, and said this invasion, his word, must stop.
Well, it's not only Donald Trump who's calling it out, it's ordinary citizens of these countries.
Yes.
In Britain, there has been a huge controversy this week because in a small town, they had been putting in migrants who'd come across the channel into these accommodation centers and giving them food, shelter, hot meals, welfare, legal aid, legal representation, while there's 1 million people waiting for housing in Britain. Britons say, well, enough of this. But it gets worse because in this one particular town, one of them, a migrant from Ethiopia, allegedly committed a sexual assault on a teenage girl there. 8 days after he'd arrived in the country. Well, I mean, fine, allegedly, but whatever. This has gotten the locals furious. And the police and the media have decided they're going to portray anybody who protests about this as being right-wing, far-right, Nazis, all of that. And it got so bad that the British police bust in and gave police escorts to left-wing protesters to counter-protest against the locals who are furious that their town is being used as a dumping ground for people who have come across the channel. Now, we saw that vision the other week of, some French cops, putting knives into the whaler boats that were going to take them across to deflate them. But you know what? I think that we're getting past time for more kinetic solutions to this here.
But Rita, you also saw what James is referring to as an Epping as well.
Yeah.
Last week you had ordinary mums and dads out there, particularly mums who are concerned about the welfare of their daughters, who are constantly being harassed by these illegal immigrants. They had banners saying, "We are not right wing. We are not far right." This is how stupid it has become in Britain. You have the case of Lucy Connolly, I think her name is, who's in jail simply for a tweet. She's got 31 months in jail simply for a tweet which is deemed to be racist because, again, it's criticising the immigrants. This is toxic, dangerous stuff. Is Keir Starmer on top of it? No.
Well, he is promising to smash the gangs. His focus is the human traffickers. So it's a very easy thing for the left to focus on that as opposed to the issue, which is the fact that their border protection policies are completely failing, and they really haven't. But you can't just look at Labor, because Tories were in power there.
Absolutely.
And they did nothing about this as well. Every election they would go promising to slash not just legal migration, but legal migration, and yet record numbers would continue to come in. So the faces of these countries have changed. This is something we've talked about for years, as something Douglas Murray wrote about, a decade ago, The Strange Death of Europe, maybe even longer than that. And it is the death of Europe. And that's why we are seeing countries where you would never expect the centre-right option to be in power winning, from Finland, Sweden. When you look at countries, obviously, that are revolting against this trend. And the UK itself, Reform are ahead in the polls, ahead of Labor and the Tories. And again, you would think in a party system, first past the post system, that couldn't happen, that if you had another Conservative option, it would split the vote and Labor would just keep on winning. But no, Reform right now,
Farage will get
if
there.
an election was held
in number
today,
10, I predict it in 2014, and it will happen.